Welcome to Misery Zone. My name is Kurt Burdick, and today I'm going to be looking at a graphic novel about dealing with hard times. I'm the maker of Death of Power, which is a story about the hard time, a very hard time for this character. It's a bootleg Death of Superman comic, and if you search hard enough, you will find it. Today I'm going to be looking at this graphic novel called On the Ropes. It is a sequel to Kings in Disguise, which both of these I highly recommend, and they were a joy to read. And both very successful books. And this is like one of the best continuations or a sequel novel that I have read in a very long time. I don't know if James Vance and Dan Burr are planning on doing another graphic novel, a continuation of this story, but I think I'd be very excited if they were, because I really, really enjoyed this book. Kings in Disguise is following the main character, Freddy, from him running from home and living a life as a hobo. And the original book, Kings in Disguise, has some really beautiful inking and beautiful artwork and a really engaging story. And it deals with worker rights in the 1930s and the brutality of what the business owners and the, for lack of a better term, oligarchs of that age did to try to break strikes and to break up unionization between workers. Highly recommend this book. It was very compelling and very well told, and I just really did kind of love everything about it. And very, very excellent dialogue. James Vance did an excellent job researching this story and did an excellent job with the dialogue. It feels, from the time, it feels very realistic, and it feels, very pure. It's like it's pure cartooning. And Dan Burr. Maybe I'd stutter less if I just, played a character when I'm reading this shit. Mr. Dan Burr did illuminate me with his beautiful illustrations what it was like to be a child during the Depression, hopping from one train to the other. Yeah, I didn't stutter once there. Fuck. Maybe that's it. Look at this guy. That is a very scary character. This is a very, very engaging and exciting scene. I think the action that Dan Burr and James Vance write and draw is some of the best I've seen in American books. This is interesting. Alan Moore actually gave a pull quote for this book, which is really rare. I rarely see Alan Moore recommend anything outside of, people who read comics to grow up. And to be fair, that is a very good recommendation. So no shade on the Master Moore. Anyways, let's see what he has to say, and I will do my best of Alan Moore accent here. Very possibly the most affecting graphic narrative that you will read in the next couple of decades. So that was Sir Alan Moore. So very good, very good. Like I said, I don't really see many blurbs or pull quotes or recommendations from him. He picked the right book to recommend because this is an excellent book. So in this book, Fred is a teenager. And this is after he's been living as a hobo. He is now a carny working a carnival in the 1930s, the late 1930s. This is the early 30s. This is the late 30s. So let's take a look at it. Let's read from it. It had some really beautiful writing in it and illustration. Now, the one thing... It's not even really a criticism, but it is something that I noticed was that... What is this? Oh, what is this? I guess this is... Hey, check this out. This is some type of RFD tag of where I bought it. Huh. Can I get it out? Well, I'll leave it in there. I guess, whatever. On the ropes. And like many people, I think we as a society have been feeling like we've been on the ropes for a couple years now. And we'll probably be feeling like we're on the ropes for a couple more years, unfortunately. So, this is just a pet peeve, and I think it actually works fine, but they did their gray tones digitally, more likely with Photoshop or something similar to Photoshop, whereas in the original Kings in Disguise, they used Zip for Zipatone for their gray tones, and I just think the Zip looks better. Now, you can't get similar effects in Photoshop by using these things. And also, you can now scan in Zipatone and do all these effects digitally too, which is probably the best way to do it. And I think like with Clip Studio, you can get Zipatone packs that you can use digitally. I think most manga uses that now. Yeah, so that's not even really criticism, but it is something that I took note of. That yeah, personally, like I like the zip look better, the screen dot look better than the digital look. But when you're reading it, it doesn't matter. It just kind of flows, and there is still very good use of value patterns. So the value patterns are really well done. Like they're not over rendering the gray tones. Like it's still very, very simple. So it's still very well done. It's just an aesthetic choice. Like that's a beautiful scene there. You know, that looks really good. All of it looks really good. So let me start reading it, and maybe I will actually go ahead and try to find some old-timey ragtime to play in the background. You know, I think like, you know, seeing as how the world's going, maybe it might be time to learn how to play a mouth harp and you know, play a jug. You know, and figure out like what type of, trash cans you can use to light a fire to warm yourself, because things aren't looking too good. Unfortunately, most trash cans are plastic now, at least in San Francisco. So the old hobo method of, you know, warming yourself next to a trash fire might be a little bit more difficult. Anyways, all right, so here we go. Look at this. It's looks like it's It's a it's a circus. It's circus. Ole. Okay. All right. Here I go. I'm gonna start reading in a bit. One, two, three. Oh, 3, 2, 1. I am now reading. Okay. All right. Here we go. Sometimes I'm asked to tell a story of the old days, the great adventures I enjoyed. And though memory loves to paint our tragedies higher and our comedies even ever lower, I try to oblige with the truth. A rare commodity mined from a life increasingly far away. It's a beautiful drawing. I think like the character acting and the expressions of the characters is very, very well done. Like the emotions in the characters is excellent. So there's that. Is this where the man kills himself for a nickel? Look at that. Yeah. They're memories of a boy seen through eyes too wide and harsh judgments too simple. But they're an honest record of his life and a world he saw laid out before him. Yeah, he wants to see this guy kill himself. So he's going to like the dark web. Okay. Even so, my stories aren't always believed. Like that. Just look at these carnies. No one, I'm told, could have survived the life I say I've lived. Really good silhouette. Really good composition in this panel. So few understand now how many of us lived the stories I remembered. Look at that smile. Hey, it's Jimmy Olsen, boy reporter. Yeah, wouldn't it be hilarious if this is actually just the prequel to the Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster's Superman? Like that's actually what he wants. That's what the third volume was going to be. Is like the discovery. It's actually this character. It's actually a young Jimmy Olsen who survived the the Depression as a child. That'd be interesting. Okay, so few understand that even though most of us escaped with our lives, that doesn't mean that any of us survived. Put a gray silhouette here. It's not very well done, but what it's trying to show is a noose. And it's dividing right down the line of the center line of this character, who is Fred. Okay, let's go here. This is a beautiful illustration. I really love this illustration. So on the ropes, Gordon Corey escapes. So pretty dark. So this man is standing at a gallows. So let's see what he has to say. Very excellent rendering on the face. And the thing I love about Dan Burr's cartooning is he really creates an inner monologue that you see in his cartooning. Like just between this expression and that expression is really in dialogue. And I think that's really exciting. All right, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're here for Zora the Snake Lady, we don't share this tent anymore. Our manager cut her loose back in Moline. Guess she wasn't uplifting enough for a high-class outfit like this. A shame, she did pack the nicest pair of boas in the state of Illinois. Look at that. Look at these expressions. But you didn't come here for cheap thrills, did you, my friends? The man who puts his head in a tame lion's mouth, the high wire walker who pretends to slip, all those safe illusions of danger you can see across the way in the big top. and he pulls down on the noose. And then again, this motif of this line splitting the dark side and the light side. I mean, the reverse, light side and the dark side of this character. No, you came here to see the real thing. So this is like, in a way, maybe this is symbolizing life and then death, and the line in between the two, which is the noose. And that goes back what I think they were trying to do here with this silhouette, this shadow of the noose on him. So let's see. Really excellent illustration. Let me pull that up. Just take a look at some of these illustrations. That's really good. Really excellent expressions, character expressions and stuff. Okay. Real, like livestock slaughtered for rotting in the fields because the price of feed couldn't be found. Watching your children sleep at night, holding your breath so hard, like the slightest breeze could blow your family apart. Praying, God, don't let us end up like those people down the street. Look at these expressions, especially him. And this one. Don't let the bank turn us out. Don't let our babies starve. Don't let this world kill us. That's the real thing. Steel manacles, ladies and gentlemen. Pass them around. Try the locks. They're the real thing, too. Really good posture and gesture. We're all scared these days, my friends. On the ropes, like a nation of punch-drunk fighters. But just because this world's beat us bloody, it doesn't mean we're down for the count. Not us. Look at these expressions and the lighting on this. The cross hatchings and the little details, especially the floral details in the dresses, is really excellently done. Here's where you spit fear and the devil square in the eye. For just a few minutes and 1/20th part of $1, the WPA Federal Theater Project Traveling Circus offers you escape. Yeah, take that, David Blaine, you fuck. Street magician. Let's see you do the real deal. See you hang yourself, you fuck. Okay. All right. I'm sure David Blaine's a fine, outstanding gentleman. I need a volunteer. Oh, you'll do nicely, my dear. To prove there's no tricks, my friends. Nothing up my sleeves, including my arms. And he takes off his shirt. You've inspected the manacles. You know these locks are the genuine article. Gordon escapes. Watch as we'll snap him on tighter than a banker's coin purse. Pretty nicely drawn hands. And the way he's using the gray tones is very, very good. Like, he's not overdoing it. And I think it's a good lesson for myself, because sometimes when I've done gray tones, I kind of try to put too much in. So this is a good lesson to just keep it very simple. And one thing you don't want to do is try to you don't want to compete with what the detail, the shading that the cross hatching is creating, or what the detail is creating. So every time you put in detail, that kind of creates a value pattern. So you wouldn't want to put, gray over here where this the shadow is on the left side of his face, because that shadow is defined by the line work and the cross hatching. And the reason I'm pointing that out is I've done stuff like that in the past. So it's not, I'm just almost more putting it out for myself than for you. But also, this is real interesting that how he's put the gray on the back to really highlight the central character here. And, a slightly darker gray for his shirt to pop her forward, and then the gray of the manacles, which is the darkest gray of the gray tones. Anyways, you've inspected the manacles. You know these locks are the genuine article. Watch as we'll snap him on tighter than a banker's coin purse. Yeah, it's a Transformers sound effect. I'm pretty sure that's what James Vance wanted. If the movie's made, that's the sound effect they'll use. And now the noose. Pull the knot snug to my neck, so it makes a nice clean snap. I want you to count to 5, my friends. Then Fred here will spring the trap door that sends me straight to the end of this rope. Okay, so do we beat the devil today? Settle for the real thing? Or do we escape? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do it! Do it! Ah, beautiful sequence. Beautiful use of the 9-grid panel. Great expression. Let's see what happens. The shackles are down. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you escape. Badass. So he breaks out of the shackles and he grabs the rope so it doesn't snap his neck. What a show. I'd pay a nickel for that. All right. Next show's at 4:30. Tell your friends. And then, okay, the guests start leaving. You really scared me this time, Gordon. Yeah. You need a snort too? No, just as well. And he's like frowning at him because Gordon's a drunk. You didn't wiggle your fingers. How can I open the trap if you don't give me the signal? You missed the signal. You go on 5. Nothing to it. You didn't give the signal. For a second there, I thought I'd kill you. And it didn't cost you a nickel. Oh, wow. Look at this guy. So it's such good acting here. Ixnay. Show's over, ma'am. Yes, I was part of it. Sorry, don't pay much attention to faces. Too busy not dying. You want an autograph or a little nip? No. But maybe you could spare me some time. Is there someplace we can go? Well, there's not much time between shows, but we could get good and acquainted after supper. Sorry, I have to be on a train tonight. Story of my life. Really nice gesture there. I really like that gesture. And even though I would prefer it to be zip-tone, it's really good use of the grays. Gray tones, the simple gray tones. But maybe we could talk between shows. I think I could sell a magazine piece on you. On the level? A symbol of hope for the desperate. Or something. I have a friend at the American Mercury, or Liberty. Might be interested. You hear that, Fred? You want to be on the cover of Liberty? Or what's that one you like? Spicy Adventures? Just when there's nothing else to read. Interview my man Fred, why don't you? He'll gas about the desperate till that noose starts looking good to you. Oh, man, that's good. Mr. Corey, I'm offering you some publicity. Not interested. Not in the Mercury, not in Liberty. But if you decide to try a spicy adventure, you come look me up, okay? Fine. You're really a writer? For what that's worth. You write for magazines? Books, maybe? I'm on a project. What, WPA? I'm a state guidebook writer, but I can do freelance if I want to. Sure you can. Have you sold your writing? This isn't the dole, Sonny. They don't give these jobs to plumbers, you know. Of course not. I've just never met a real writer. Could I just talk to you, please? Uh-oh. I'm sure you've written some nice poems, Sonny, but I'm not in the mood. It's Fred, damn it. And it's not poems. It's a sort of a novel. Really nice expressions here, though. When he says novel, that inquisitive, mean smirk. Sort of, look homeward, angel, or in dubious battle. Forget it. And this is really important. His kind of injured leg, his gimp leg. Hold tight, Hemingway. You wrote that speech of his, didn't you? Yeah, but Gordon changes it. Puts the cell on it. What did you think of it? P.T. Barnum presents the Communist Party. Did both you boys carry a card? Workers' Brigade. Well, not Gordon. He doesn't much. Doesn't believe in joining things. Doesn't believe in anything. You know, we might still have a story here. You're his partner. But how about you tell me about the guy? I'm not his partner. I just work with him. But I'm his friend. And he said no. Well, it's not the first story I never wrote. But maybe I could talk to him. Try to change his mind. And you take a look at what I wrote. What's your schedule? Is the circus staying in Illinois? The rest of the month, for sure. The office can give you the towns. Then you work on Mr. Exclusive, and I'll find you when we're in the same area again. It's kind of cool. Good for her. You know. So what's this sort of novel about anyway? It wouldn't be your life story, would it? It's some things that happened to me, yeah? And you're how old? I'm nearly 18. Penrod joins the Workers' Brigade. Well, a deal's a deal. See you down the road, Sonny. Really great opening. I really enjoyed this opening. I really did love this sequence right here. Now let's go to the next protagonist that we're going to be dealing with. And what is revealed is that Fred is missing a leg. And that injury happens between this book and this book. So that's not an event that happens in Kings in Disguise. And it's something that is reminisced about in this. But it's not something that's directly shown. There is a flashback to it, but let's move on. So, again, some real beautiful illustration. So, here are the next characters. So, those were kind of the protagonists of the story, Gordon and Freddie. And now let's see what they're up against. Because there is a noir feel to this story, and it has some really, really great action sequences, even though it's not obviously an action story. But I've been more involved and more engaged and stressed from the action I've in this story and also in Kings in Disguise than most Marvel or DC comics. So I would put the action scenes up against anything in their catalog for the majority of their books, for sure. Okay, so we see this hand. Supper, $1.50. Chase supper, $2.80. Streetcars, 2 fares, 2 transfers. Information, 50 cents. Then T Hawk, 8628. Mackinac, 2 child. J Bergman, 8602. Muskegon, wife with one child. He just puts that notebook back in his thing. There's two guys walking off into the darkness. Very creepy. Very scary. See this shoe? This person's sleeping. It says Chicago. See this foot here? That hand. Very... And then just that expression. These expressions and these hands, these images of hands is really interesting. Like you have this open hand, ready for violence, contrasted against this image of a hand in prayer. I think that's a nice kind of contradiction there. And really, really good punch here. It feels really hard, really good expression, and just with these lines and then the posture of this body really makes it feel like you can almost hear the slap against this guy's cheek, and then that expression of the wife getting angry. So these guys are roughing these people up, while they're sleeping. Very scary. And then this guy, oof, God, that's so creepy. No screaming, mama. Wake your brats. It's on your head. Now, let's talk about the strike. And he sits down. We don't say, what strike? Talk! And he's like breaking his arm or twisting his arm. They Okay, let me try that. They ain't told us nothing yet. That's so? The man that brought us here thinks different. He figures that mess at J&L Steel should have you boys spoiling to make a run at his outfit. But he's not going to fold like those old ladies in Pennsylvania. Touches the cheek. The union tries it here in Chicago, it'll be over your dead bodies. Maybe not just yours. Don't listen to him, Tom. Not even the Pinks will kill us in our beds. You think we're Pinkertons, ma'am? Not hardly. My friend and me, we're not that easy going. Don't hurt her. I'll tell you what I know. Just don't hurt her. He puts the knife up to her. Look how mean this character looks. Just vicious guy. And the way Dan Burr draws the eyes fully in black, or almost in black, he makes those pupils really, really large. Makes him feel like a shark out to kill, which the character is. Sure, there's going to be a strike. Everybody knows we'll hit Republic, probably Youngtown. But they ain't told me when. I swear, it's all hush-hush. Dave Motry, Ben Budlarski, Irv Greenbaum, they might know. Myrna, forgive me. Oh, Lord, Tom. Just so mean. This guy's like holding a knife and is just going to berate him. Don't take it to heart, folks. It's not like you had a chance to start with. We got a job. There it is. Man pays an honest dollar. We earn it come hell or high water. That's the difference between us and you union trash. Oh, you want to tell your friends you sold them out? Be my guest. Warn them or not, they'll sing just as loud. Like how broken these people are there. Very, very, very depressing. So in this sequence, now going back to Fred and Gordon. So like was what was revealed earlier, like Gordon is a drunk. Like he is an alcoholic. And when they break down the tent to go to the next town, Gordon decides to sleep in a trailer that he's not supposed to, because it could be very, very dangerous if they have to stop suddenly. The person, people have been known to like break limbs or necks or get seriously injured from doing it, but he's so drunk that that he refuses to leave his trailer. They just let him stay in there because they just don't want to deal with him, because he's just a, very, everyone has worked with people like that, I assume. So they're pulling the trailer that Gordon's sleeping in, that the manager of the WPA circus doesn't know that Gordon's in. So it's a risky deal, but they just decided to go along with it because more than likely no one's going to know, and they just didn't want to deal with an asshole, really. So here we go. Business for sale. These are really nice little subtle things in the background. These Bergs got a long way to go before the recovery catches up. Say, you want I should drop you off here, Trotsky? Maybe you can organize a hayseeds union. Don't call me that, Gil. Look, you want to call me Frankie Roosevelt? Go ahead. Ain't Trotsky one of your big red heroes? Not so much anymore. No kidding. What did he do wrong? Join the Republicans? Something like that. I'm not familiar with Trotsky. I just know he got like a hammer in the head or something like that. He the way he was in Mexico, and then he was assassinated in Mexico, and he got an axe or a hammer in the head. That's as much as I know, and I could be completely wrong about that. And he had a cool ass goatee. Yeah. That's my knowledge of the proletariat movement. Oh, fuck. Okay. So, that was the car driving past graveyards. So, how long you've been with the show now, kid? 6 months? Almost. I signed on outside of Moline right before. Hang on. Come on, shift. He's having trouble with the shifting gear. Can you fish them matches out of my pocket? Truck don't want to climb this hill. And dragging your buddy's bungalow don't help much on these grades. Come on, baby. So yeah, they're pulling the bungalow. Appreciate it. So Fred lights the match. Lights the match to light the cigarette. Appreciate it. I'll still have my hands full. See, after the crest, this sorry piece of... Oh, shit. What a really great expressions. I think Dan Burr is just excellent at expressions. Very, very good. Very good cartooning. So, the problem is... Okay, they're going down this steep hill and this train's coming. This is before they had, guardrails for train tracks. Really pretty. So, what's going to happen? Stop, Gil, the brakes! Shut up! That guy. Load's too heavy. Never get her to stop. Brace yourselves. Even if we clear the rattler, still gotta pray it don't clip the trailer. And look at that expression. Really, you get a sense of real caring and the cartooning there of that character. Here goes nothing. Fucking rad. Love it. And then the bungalow trailer flips over. It's gonna roll! Damn it! And look at this guy's friends. You saved it, yeah. Better go see if he's still alive in there. Gordon? Gordon. Hey, Gordon? None of you bastards let a man sleep! Go on, all of you, go boil your heads. And he just goes back to sleep. How bad is it, kid? Tell me. I didn't kill him. He's just banged up a little, Gil. He's so drunk he slept through the hole. Through the hole. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, I've seen it before. They get so rubber boned they just bounce when a sober guy'd be busted to pieces. Come on, let's pull this rig over and let the others go by. And maybe we'll just sit quiet for a few minutes. And here's a dream sequence that Fred has. It's interesting with the dream sequences when they're remembering some of the events that happened in this book, that he doesn't use any of the gray tones, the digital gray tones. He's not using the zip, but he's doing more of the hatching. And so that's real interesting. So the present day stuff has more, has the gray tones in it, the more modern green tones. And then the memories from, about 5 years before, when he was in this book, the character was in this book going around. It's dealing primarily with hatching. So yeah, it's an interesting motif that they're using. So there's one other sequence I want to read. So these strike busters, these union busters, are following the characters that were given up by the other members, given up by Tom and his wife. So they're trying to find how they're sending messages back and forth to organize and launch the strike, and they're having a hard time doing it. And the strike busters meet with their patron, the CEO of the steel company in the local area. So let's start from reading from here. Dum, 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 dum. Dear Radio Orphan Annie, here are 3 Ovaltine seals. Please send me the star member secret message ring. Yours truly, Louise Brown, Travis, Chicago 4. Circle the block. We'll pick up a passenger. Quickly. So the Union Buster gets in. Is this what we're paying your employer for? To help the agitators play us for saps? Doesn't seem to me they need any help, sir. Call your boss, wise guy, and tell him you're fired. I can do that. But then you won't find out why this is just what we wanted. Hurt my feelings, I might go on strike. What a bastard. This guy's a really good character, really vicious character. Talk. If this was some hick company town, you'd have no troubles. My boss would send yours a truckload of no-necks, and they'd clean house. But you can't play that way in the big city, not even with cops on your payroll, am I right? You're a regular Winchell. So you get foxy, send spies to the meetings, get your boys in blue to stage a frame-up or two. I hear you even started a company union to lure people away from the CIO. I'll bet they beat a path to your door when you fellows got that bright idea. It's time to make your point. Such bastards. Your boss thinks having more money means he's got more brains. Big mistake. I think we'll hold our own against the crackers and bohunks. Sure. Look how slick you did that fellow out of his Orphan Annie ring. They handed you the horse laugh too, mister. Yeah, went a lot of trouble to show they aren't using the mill, didn't they? Dollars to Donuts, there's a letter headed east right now about your dynamite frame-up and maybe my visit with that mug and his wife. And that's how we'll beat him. You can spy out who's going to meetings and all, but that's just the sideshow. When the strike's gonna happen, that's the dope you need. And if the handful of guys who know keep their lips buttoned, your spies can't get it. But if we find a way to make him think we know, there'll be a note off to the CIO before the ink gets dry. And if we're lucky, it'll spill enough for us to put it all together. But we still won't know how to get our hands on it. Oh, they slipped that letter under my nose today, sure enough. But I got a pretty good idea how they did it. I don't know. It's so damned Rube Goldberg. Maybe you give these monkeys too much credit for brains. Look around. You see anybody out here hasn't spent years climbing out of hell? You got any idea what it takes to keep pushing back every morning when the world's trying to bury you? Maybe these monkeys earned the right to a decent life, and they've pushed you to hiring muscle to keep them from having it. So you tell me how stupid they are. Sure you didn't hire onto the wrong end of things, friend? I tried that side. I know how the story ends. In the long run, hope and brains will just get them killed. They don't stand a chance when there's people like you around. And you've got people like me. What an evil fucking character. Look at that guy. Fucking bastard. But great writing, great storytelling, and great characterizations. I just love these characters in here. And this leads up to a great conclusion. All right. So I'm going to read one more passage from it, and I'll try not to make a fucking ass out of myself. All right, so let's do this. So definitely Gordon is dealing with some, possibly some suicidal ideation, but he's just making a profit from it. So that's, the most American thing one can do. Okay, Gordon kept to himself the rest of the day. He didn't open his mouth until the evening crowd came in. No, my friends, you came here to see the real thing. That beautiful drawing again. That dividing line. This one is interesting because there's more detail on both sides. It's more ambiguous as opposed to when Dan Burr originally drew it from this panel. Like there's clearly a light side and a dark side. When this side, it's more nebulous. In fact, the dark side is drifting in to the light side, which maybe symbolizes the desire for death taking over the desire to keep going. So, but that's just a possible interpretation of it. So let's see. And I'm just the guy to show it to you. Steel manacles, ladies and gentlemen. Let's give him a good twist. Make him extra tight for Uncle Gordy tonight. I want you to count to 5, my friends. Look how happy this girl is. I'm going to see someone kill himself. That was my grandmother. Wow. Grandma. Yeah, you liked entertainment too. You were a otaku also. It was just like, live death that you were a otaku about. Awesome, Grandma. I love you. And will we beat the devil tonight? Settle for this lousy joke we're living? Or do I show you how to escape? Look how dark that image is. Really finally escape, and he's starting to sweat. And Fred is getting a little nervous. 1. Do it. Ladies and gentlemen, we give you escape. Well, they'll get their money's worth yet one of these days. Hey, good job saving the payoff, kid. We'll make a trooper out of you yet. Fred's not having any of it. I wondered then if this was the end of something. I didn't know how I felt about it. I only knew that the rest of the tour had just become unbearable. Hey, Sourpuss, I thought we might celebrate you not getting fired. I guess not tonight, Aline. Gordon's making me crazy. Fred, Gordon always makes you crazy. So those are the characters. And, oh, he got a little smooch. Hey, this is the best day of his life. Look at that butt. He's a gentleman. He's obviously looking at the hair. Cute hair. So, great, likable, fully developed characters that, have a lot of dimension to them. And, again, I really do love the dialogue in this book. I think it's excellent. I think James Vance is a very, very good writer. And I think this is an excellent cartooning. And I highly recommend this book. Obviously, my reading's not as good as the book is. But if you have a chance to get these 2 books, definitely get them. Kings in Disguise and On the Ropes.